Hi, everyone. My name's John McDonald. There's probably quite a few of you I've spoken to over the years, and I certainly, you've probably seen me on Creators at different times. And I'm joined here by Allison Leahy, who you certainly have seen on Creators before. She's kind of our community manager at Ning, and she also, you probably have seen some of her tweets and posts around the web as well. We're very excited today to walk through what we released yesterday, Ning 3.0. And what we really want to do today is two or three things. The first is just give you a real brief background of why we redesigned Ning. So I'll walk through a few slides. I promise to be very brief and quick about those. Next, Allison's going to walk through a demonstration of Ning and walk through some of the key features, both in a existing live site that's using Ning 3, but also going in the background on just a test site. And then we're going to come back to very briefly talk about what's ahead on the roadmap with Ning, which is really critical, I think, for all of you. And then lastly, we're going to try and have as much time for Q&A as possible. And I'm sure we'll probably run over. If you need to drop out at the end of the hour, fine, but we'll try and answer every question you guys have. As much as we can. With that, why don't we get started? And so I think the best place to start in telling the Ning 3.0 story is really to go back in history. And you guys, some of you, I think, have been with us for a very long time, since 2007 or before, when we launched the current version of Ning. But I think the real key thing about going back in time is Ning was developed as a place to create a social network, and the context is very important. When in 2007, Facebook was about a tenth of the size it was today. Twitter was celebrating its first birthday. I think South by Southwest that year, they were a big story, and really early adopters on the web who wanted to create an online community came to Ning to create that. It was a place to start a community, and many of you potentially on the line did that around that time. And many of you have been very successful over the last 6 years with building creative communities on Ning. And we've seen even people move from having a community on Ning to being very successful on Facebook, Twitter, and other platforms. So it really is about creation. But what we've noticed and gotten plenty of feedback over the last 2 to 3 years is that some of our most successful customers, actually many of our successful customers, have been pushing the limits of what Ning offers today. And what I'm going to do right now is just jump off and walk through a few of these examples, because last summer when we were really doing a real deep evaluation of where we were as a platform, it was a lot of these examples that really kind of led us in the direction of Ning 3.0. Give us a sec to switch over to a browser here. So I'm just going to go quickly through and talk about some of these. So first is a band site. Linkin Park is a very successful band that's been around for about 15 years. And what I want to show here is one of the things that seems to be very common across networks. What we've found is that as you have gathered an online community, both on Ning and off Ning, people are looking to you for your content, what you have to say, the photos you have, the videos you have. We're starting to use a term called social leader. You have become a social leader, and it's very easy with a band to kind of see that. This is all on Ning, but they used a lot of JavaScript on Ning 2.0 to basically show their main blog, which is just their band members. And then they have a road blog. They have different band member blogs. When you get over to videos, they have both the band videos, but also fan videos. Photos, the same thing. What they're trying to do with, in this case with Ning 2.0, they're really pushing the limits of what we offer by splitting up what was the official content they were communicating to their fans, as well as then really engaging with our community and allowing their community then to really do all sorts of things within their within Ning. Another example is GovLoop. So Steve Resler, as some of you might have met over the years, started like many people. He was working in the federal government and wanted to collaborate with other people working in the government to kind of basically do best practices. And over the last 4 or 5 years, he's built up a very large community of like-minded people sharing best practices. In that process, he's attracted expert bloggers, speakers, and he's gathered a huge repository of some of the best practice content anywhere around federal government, and now he's moving into more broadly state government and other areas. But his challenge, again, as a social leader who has this content, is how do I both curate and show this content and share it with my community, as well as engage them to interact with it. So I'm showing a Ning 2.0. This is prior to Ning 3.0, how he basically used a lot of back-end development work to take in what he's created as topic areas. So different areas that government employees would be very interested in. Communications and citizen engagement is one. And what he's done is taken, in the back end, he's reworked content that's coming from his community and displaying it in a way that's very digestible and easy to consume for his community. So again, what we are seeing is someone really pushing the limits of Ning in order to both communicate, publish, and to engage with the community. Another example, don't know if any of you are familiar with Tough Mudder. It's only in the last 2 years really risen up. It's a kind of a crazy endurance event for people who want to do these events around the world where you compete in British Special Forces endurance course, obstacle and endurance course. And this company has developed a very avid following of people who are really into this. And so slightly different. They didn't start on Ning as just a small core community, but what they really came to Ning with, which was a challenge, they needed to both communicate, again, with their members. So they're using Ning for their primary blog for the company, as you can see here as I'm scrolling through. So this is the company blog on Ning. But then at the same time, they've added, and they're using and primarily forums, but also groups as ways to enable these avid enthusiasts to create training teams. There's forums on training tips, equipment, even crazy things like you get really muddy and crazy in these events and you meet someone, you have no way of handing a business card or exchanging information. So there's a whole forum category just for people to find each other, find the people the misconnections that they made at the last event. So again, a great example of just pushing the limits of Ning. There are a lot of examples on Ning 2.0 of where we've seen, again, kind of this concept of a social leader needing to use or deciding to use a CMS like WordPress for their blogging, and then integrating in very unique ways that blog with the Ning community to bring in the community aspects. Firefighter Nation is a very long-standing network creator on Ning. Created a early community of just firefighters, again, exchanging best practices and information. And then over time, as he built a community, decided to create a CMS, which is basically publishing news and best practices and information on around firefighting. And then integrating, again, with a lot of development work, a community that he has around firefighting. So, doing a lot of custom development to be able to do this. This is really a beautiful integration. So if you click off on any of the community content in Firefighter Nation, you're now taken to a Ning community where you have all of the different community features that you guys are all familiar with for firefighters to interact with each other. The last example I just really want to quickly touch on is someone who actually came to Ning as a publisher. Kyla had an offline magazine in the music industry, No Depression, for many years, and as a lot of publications have had issues over the last 15 to 20 years as the internet came along. The offline publication went out of, actually they stopped circulation. Didn't make sense. So she had this fabulous repository of archived content and decided to come to Ning to be able to share that content and at the same time build a very active community around that music content, and has been very successful with this. So I guess what I want to kind of demonstrate from all of those examples is this need that we see of these social leaders to both communicate with fans, so they have content, they have something to say. Those fans are looking to them for being a source of knowledge, of leadership, but at the same time, then really wanting to continue to engage and do all the things they've done with Ning over, in terms of community management and community cultivation. So what we redesigned Ning to do is to really target and serve the needs of these social leaders. Now, we see these social leaders as existing on Ning, and we see a huge opportunity of social leaders who are off of Ning. As you guys are all, very, very well aware, as Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and Vimeo and Instagram and Pinterest and all these platforms have exploded on the scene. It's been, they offer a huge opportunity for people who are experts or advocates or passionate brands to create a followings of fans and followers around the social web. We designed Ning to address their needs. They have limitations when we're on Facebook. They have limitations on reaching their fans and engaging with their fans. So we really see as well Ning 3.0 as being a place for them to bring those communities of fans and really engage with them in a private destination to really to continue that discussion. So who is a social leader? This is all of you. I don't want this to sound very elitist. This is anybody who has a following of fans and followers around the web, whether that's on Ning or off of Ning. It could be 100 people that are looking to you for advice, for expertise, for a passionate topic. But I think a key piece here is that you both create and publish your own content as well as engage with your community. And really brief here, I think all of you are very familiar with this. What Ning addresses, and in particular Ning 3.0, is it allows you to own the relationship with your fans and with your data. It allows you to communicate with those fans as well as engage with them and do it how and when you want. And it provides a destination on the social web where you can aggregate all of your activities. So let's shift, and I'll keep this brief, but as we sat and really did this very thorough analysis of where Ning was at, and based on a huge amount of feedback we've all gotten from you over the last 2 to 3 years, is we established some development goals for Ning 3.0. The first is just what I've talked about. The market has changed from 2007 to now, and so what we're focusing on is the needs of a social leader like you. And the key aspect, if I haven't been clear about it, is you have the need to interweave publishing and community. But 2 other goals were very important as well. We felt, Ning was getting dated. The look and feel, the features, how features such as blog or photos are constructed on Ning 2.0 is getting dated. So a key goal was to bring features, UI, and design up to industry standards, the standards you see on other platforms. And then the last goal was increasingly people are using smartphones and tablets to interact with the web. And in fact, Facebook, I think almost a year ago, flipped from the majority of the use was through smartphones. So we felt we had to deliver a great experience across all devices, and you'll see that as we go through the demo. So what's new in Ning 3.0? You might have seen some of this in the blog post I did yesterday, but I do think it's worth walking through this really quickly, and then we'll do the demo. We have a new site builder. We call it Site and Pages, I think is the formal name in the product. But there's no more starting with a main page. You're simply adding pages one by one with features to your site. So much more intuitive, much easier. multiple instances of each feature. So you can add 6 blogs, 4 forums, 10 photos features. And each of those can have distinct contributors. So it could just be NC administrators, it could be member categories, it could be anybody. Privacy can be, each feature can be set independently. And then commenting system, and I'll get a little bit later, I talk about this, but we have added Discuss and Facebook as commenting options. If you want something a blog that you want commenting, that people don't have to be a member of your network. So a long-standing request from network creators. We also offer custom pages now that have feature modules and layout options. So really this is almost what the main page used to be, but we're offering that you can create multiple custom pages with features and different layouts. Completely redesign blogs, photos, forum, profile pages, and members. The new design studio is in some ways simpler, but yet we added things like a background picker with 1,400 backgrounds, color palettes, translution options. So just some really things, and we're going to add a lot more kind of tweaks to that over the next 2 or 3 weeks, so you're going to really see some cool stuff there. You might not notice this right at the start, but if you ever use a designer or a designer yourself, we updated the HTML grid that all of the features are based on. We had a very awkward 21-column grid before. And if any of you have done some design, it made padding between features, just doing different column structures very awkward. And so what we've shifted to is something that is very similar to Bootstrap, which is used by Twitter, which is a 16-column HTML grid. So it's much more designer friendly. Responsive design, we'll demo this, but content and features automatically adjust to smartphones, tablets, and laptop browsers. So no more need for a mobile web version of your site. And then we added a social channels page to easily pull in YouTube and Vimeo channels. We plan to add more streams to that over time. So that's going to be just a very broad, easy feature for you. And then you'll see the dashboards redesign. Okay, I'll shut up now, and Allison will move into a demo here.
Hi everyone, Allison here. I'm really happy to be here with you today, and I want to thank you for taking some time to be with us to check out the redesign. So I want to do a bit more than just demo Ning 3.0. I want to start by showing you how one social leader, Lauren Cosenza, is using the platform today. Lauren is a professional makeup artist, a brand consultant, video personality, and featured fashion and beauty expert. She's also a very successful blogger. Her Divalicious WordPress blog enjoyed a tremendous following, but she felt she was fairly limited on the platform. Her blog started when it became popular, it was popularized through guest contributions, which experts, other makeup artists, thought leaders in the field would submit to her by email, and she would then have to upload them, format them, publish them, and organize them on her WordPress blog in a way that made sense so her readers could easily pick out their favorite contributors. So this was difficult to maintain and keep organized and demanded a lot of time, and it was one of the main reasons that Lauren came to Ning 3.0. because she needed an easier way to post expert community contributions, and she wanted to create a space that encouraged even more community engagement. So you see here her Divalicious blog. It's still the core blog, but now she's added a contributors blog and a members blog. So we can check out the members blog. And she's already got some members contributing here. In addition to the members blog, she's also has a photo gallery where members can share killer beauty looks, hairstyles, and the hottest new shoes. She's got a member spotlight section where the community can sign up to test new products and write reviews. And in addition to facilitating user-generated content, she's using the forums here for her community to ask her questions, and she can, much like a Dear Abby column. So I think she's named that Ask L Diva, her Q&A section. And she set this up so she can publish comments, when she's already with a response, so it can fit her content schedule. In the future, Lauren plans on hosting live chats and live streaming coverage of Fashion Week through here as well. And to move along to the social streams, many of you use Instagram, Twitter, Facebook every day, and you don't want all this content to be lost. So we offer a few different ways to pipe that content in. And this particular feature is the social channel. Lauren's got a presence on YouTube doing product reviews. So she's just pulling those in really simply here. And with this feature, I'll show off the responsive design element a bit. So you see we start at the laptop size, shrink it down to a tablet, and all the way down to a mobile phone. So you'll notice the nav bar becomes a drop-down, easy to access. You're not sacrificing any of the functionality or the more beautiful elements of this design. The header, the content, the titles, all of it shrinks down. And on the main page, just show you how Lauren is piping in content from Instagram and Twitter. And similar compatibility with any type of web widgets here. She's made her Divalicious blog the main page, so that's the landing page, but this is a combo page with multiple elements that are replicated throughout other pages of her site. So now Divalicious has all the elements of a social style community that really lives up to its name. The redesign makes it so much easier to create a beautifully designed and branded site. And I think that you'll find now as we move into the demo, we really have raised the bar in terms of possibility, the flexibility of each feature, and your potential as a network creator to come up with something really new, really creative, that really speaks just to your community. So I've brought you over to my demo network here. It's very basic. This is just one welcome page and photos page plugged in. So we'll dive right into the dashboard. You'll notice that the toolbar now is an extendable, and it's got multiple options, so you can be directed straight to the members page, the content moderation, the design studio, or the dashboard itself. And as we land on the dashboard, you'll notice some of the major differences. Just taking a second to pull up here. Okay, well, while that's loading, I'll just show off our cultivating community. This is another brand new Ning 3.0 site. Literally just pulled this together over the weekend. And so we've pared it down. If you're viewing this on your own on the web, you just see the Ning blog show up here. The community lounge is set to private as we start revving up the community. But we've got the social channel feed and a blog piped in here, as well as just some, text box type information. I'll take a second here to pull out and just load this up. Okay, great. All right, so we're landed on the dashboard now. This is, again, the very pared down site that I just started this trial today. So the first thing I did was create a welcome page and a photos page. Again, this is very different than the features layout page you're used to. You've got the main navigation on the left, and then any unlinked pages could be activated features that you're just adding to a custom or combo page. So if that's, we'll get more to what exactly that means in a second. For now, let's just start. Let's say you've got a blank canvas and you want to create a couple blogs. Create a blog by adding a page or any feature. So it's a new page type, and you select the page type at this level. You see all the options we currently have right here. We'll start off with a blog. You can publish it immediately or save it as a draft mode. Just want this to be a community blog. So we'll title it community blog, and that pre-populates the navigation tab and the URL. The URL structure is flexible. So you can, if you want to create a naming convention like blog/community, you can go ahead and do that. And set the contributor level. So I mentioned this is, a brand new site. If I had set up member categories, you would see those at the contributor level. Since we do want this to be a community blog, we'll keep it at members. And then the content moderation appears right in line. So you no longer have to flip through pages on your dashboard to set moderation controls. Everything is set at the feature level. Set your viewer, your audience. In this case, we'll keep it open to the public, but you could have a private community blog or private, only viewable to administrators, etc. And again, member categories will feed into that. Commenting systems, discuss is an option now, as well as Facebook. Once you set up your Facebook app, that will appear, and you can also choose to have no commenting. With standard, you can toggle allow HTML or disallow, which is, again, based on feedback we received from you, the more flexibility there. So we'll select discuss and just use our Ning blog handle here. Categories. So you can set categories. So we'll just say, events, maybe news, and other happenings. And give that a quick save. And then to bounce out, I'll just open up the home page in a new window and show you what this looks like. So pops up in the nav bar there. You've got your community blog. No post yet, so let's go ahead and add one. Again, we really did redesign this feature here with publishers in mind. So we've got a lead photo. And let's say, like that one. Let's call this fill it up with some text. And you can grab an excerpt. It's good for, and then select your category and give it some tags. We've also added the ability to publish immediately or future date. So you have all those options. You can preview it, save it as a draft, or go ahead and publish. All right, so the connection is a little bit slow here, but this will load up in just a second for you. Meanwhile, we can flip back to the site builder, and I'll show you how to quickly add a social channel. So again, the social channel is, we're starting out with Vimeo and YouTube, but we will add quite a few others over the course of the next few months. Again, you can flexible URL structure. This is similar across all pages. We'll keep everyone can view it. And I'll just add our Vimeo and Ning's YouTube channel. And then save, and bam, simple as that. You're piping in new content, fresh content from your social channels across the web. All right, so now that we've got I'll just flip back to the blog here. So this is a blog with a lead image. And the discuss commenting system. And your tags and categories will appear up top here. All right, so we've added our social channel. Now let's combine these into a new page, a custom page. We'll call this the Community Lounge. And we want everyone to view it. You've got a few different layout options. Let's just start with this one and start adding content. HTML box, this is similar to a text box, so you could just add, you know, a welcome message as such and add it. And then add another, say you want your community photos in here. You could title it, leave it blank, or pipe it in based on category. So again, this offers a lot more flexibility. You can create pages specifically based around categories that are used on features across the network. We'll add our social channels up to the sidebar, give it a quick save, and maybe we'll add one more piece of content here, that new blog post. And again, categories will appear. You can have similar display options, a couple different choices. So we'll add that as well. And then pop back to our display window and give it a look. All right, Community Lounge. It's a new convo page. Social channels appear, your welcome box, blog post, and photos. So it's really as easy as that, you know, adding 4 features on the fly, already got some good content, feels like the site is filling out a bit. Again, you know, in addition to this community blog, if I wanted to have 3, 4, a dozen other blogs, I could do that. Same with channels and photo features. So you can really separate and categorize content in a way that makes sense. All right, so I'll bring you back to the dashboard just so you can take another look, because this definitely is, you know, it's new, it's different, and I just want you to get a sense of how easy it is to create and customize these features on the fly. You know, you could architect sites with one idea in mind and realize that it's not working the way you like, and just drag and drop those features in multiple different ways until you get what you like, and add a dozen blogs, you know, etc. It's just, there are just so many more ways that you can shape the interactions that occur in your community and create a deeper sense of community for your members, specifically by using the feature level privacy settings. We will be adding groups, but you know, currently you could create a group-like experience just through the use of member categorization and feature level privacy settings. So just to revisit the idea of the platform's new design, design grid that John was talking about, and the responsive design, I'll demo that for you on this network as well. Just squeezing it down slowly, you see it breaks down content in a logical way. And so you aren't gonna sacrifice anything. You don't have to worry about developing a custom app, and just aren't limited by the same restrictions of the mobile version. So I think that's about all I have for you right now. So hopefully you've come up with some good questions, and we will start responding to those.
No, actually, I'm going to go through a couple more slides.
Oh, that's right. We've got a couple more slides for you. So you have a little bit more time to dream up those tough questions that you want answered today.
Okay, so this will be real quick, but you can just switch over. There we go. All right. So So Allison alluded to a few of these things, but I just wanted to, again, there's a lot of discussion yesterday and last night on creators about Ning 3.0. And I just want to make it clear to everybody. We released Ning 3.0 with a core set of features. And we did that for two reasons. Because the alternative is we could have waited until this summer when we had everything completely developed and Ning 3.0 fully dialed up. We felt it made more sense to release it yesterday for new network creators for two reasons. One, we feel the current product is going to lead new network creators to be more successful. We really do feel there's a lot of flexibility and design that's built into Ning 3.0, which is really going to immediately help new network creators, and we wanted to get it to them as soon as possible. The second reason is we wanted your help. We know we aren't going to get Ning 3.0 right. We know as we do it, it's going to have bugs, but more than that, it's going to have missing details that are really important for you. So we see the next 5 to 6 months as a chance to really work with you in an iterative approach. We've got several engineering teams who are going to be iterating based on the feedback you give us. So we really look to you to give us input on both the feature set that's already out, but as we release and work on groups and some of these other features, we really love your help. So the features which we are going to very quickly work on, and the reason why, one last thing is, each of these features, when we roll it out in Ning 3.0, we have to redesign the HTML layer of it. So it takes us a few weeks with each feature. We also, as we're redesigning that HTML layer, we're changing things. You might have noticed as we went through it, the blog feature has been redesigned. So fundamental aspects of blogs have been added. Categorization, so categories, long-standing requests for the blog feature, probably since I started at Ning. That's been added. Excerpts, different things like that. So as we redesign these features, we are going to improve upon them. Groups will be reimagined. I expect it's going to be a much more powerful feature when it launches. We're going to be redoing paid access using Ning 3.0. And by the way, paid access will be available with all plans, all pricing plans. It's going to be included. Video feature. One of the things we talked about yesterday on creators is the new video feature is going to be embed only, not uploads. And part of the reason for that is there are several platforms that focus only on third-party platforms that focus only on videos. YouTube, Vimeo, Brightcove, Ooyala, others. They offer, because they are focused on investing, you can invest all of their time into it. They can have, really be up to date with the latest formats, have serving platforms, that have very high performance, and they also offer a lot of advertising features, which a lot of our network creators are asking for. Members are increasingly uploading videos to YouTube first. That's the place where they're going to upload a video. So we really feel the direction we want to go with video is to make it much more easy for your members and you to upload in quantity videos from that are uploaded to other places, so embed those. Events, chat, additional languages, and we are also going to design a easier way with the language editor to import other languages. Optional ad placement boxes on feature and custom pages, so bringing back leaderboard and footer ad units as well as others. A full set of APIs for all Ning features, including members. So some of you more advanced programmers will be thrilled with that. That's something we didn't offer before. And then in particular for new network creators, the ability to import blogs I think will be really valuable. We expect to be feature complete by late summer. Hope we can do it quicker, but I'm sure we're going to be getting a lot of feedback and a lot of input, so it's probably going to take us until late summer. And then just in case you haven't been on creators, we did introduce a new set of pricing plans. So two things with this. We've moved away from feature differentiation, which was very confusing for new network creators. So all the features are the same in all the plans, including things like paid access. The only exception being APIs. What we do differentiate the plans is based on membership. So as you become more successful, we feel that is the appropriate time to ask you to pay more for the platform. So that's it. I will now, if you have questions, please submit them, and I already see a few. Give me one sec with my eyesight here. I'll just go through these. Responsive design is awesome. Thank you, Sylvia. That was definitely a key reason why we redesigned the HTML is to offer that. So that is a key aspect of it.